Have you ever seen those videos on TikTok saying when you're already having a bad day and see another teen influencer moving into a New York City penthouse, or the self-disappointment and guilt when you don't study and get your daily goal done? I bet that if you open your TikTok or Instagram feed just now, you will be terrified by the quantity of videos with such messages. And honestly, every one of us can be an author of such a video, and I'm not an exception. Just a couple of months ago, I was strangled by comparison. What's even worse is that I wasn't comparing myself just to some strangers on social media, but to the people I cared about most. I would catch myself picturing on a sheet of paper what I got done on a random Monday and what my friend did. One part of me then was saying, "Maryna, today you skipped your training session, but a friend of yours didn't." Another would repeat, "Maryna, you're ill today. Get off yourself at least once." Some of my friends were brave enough to say that the same has happened to them, and we together agreed that just out of nowhere, our brains were convinced that we were falling behind in this life, and the plain old friend FOMO would kick in. To be fully honest with you, I have to admit, I first greeted this habit of comparing myself to other people because I thought it could make me more motivated, teach me to work harder, or even feel satisfied about my achievements. But instead, it left me with one constantly repeated phrase: no matter what you do, you are never enough. Only then did I understand that my mindset was influenced by something truly enormous and frightening, and it was the productivity cult. Productivity cult, it's not just a feeling, it is a monster with many suffocating arms that are ruining our lives. And unfortunately, me and my friends are not the only victims. There is a whole generation of victims. Just let me prove it. Tell me, how many books have you read in the last month? Some people say 4, some people say 1, some would say 30. Would the number a person gave you shape your perception of them? Of course it would. Books have always been considered as a direct source of knowledge, so the more you have read, the smarter you are. Still, when given either a glorifying or an embarrassing number, no one takes into account the size of the books, the impact it has made on you, or the insights you have found there. No one mentions how they savored the fruits of thoughts or just speed-ran the whole pile, and that's the main point. Productivity cult teaches us not to think twice, so we just consume the information given. As a result, there is a whole generation of such not deep diggers with their analytical skills nearly erased. The new mindset also dictates that everyone's vocation is to be productive. However, the borders for this term are quite huge, but the main point hides in us being made to ignore our bodies. I think I just found a life example, and it's even written on the wall of Harvard University. If you fall asleep now, your fancy will appear in dreams, for sure, but if you prefer studying to sleeping, your fancy will come true. Wow, it seems like we just got called dumb and retarded because we fulfilled the basic need of human body. Chasing the image of a seemingly productive person often leads us to ignore our physical needs. And every physical need is unique because it is shaped by the lifestyle we lead, our health conditions, or the life stage we are at. You know, thanks to such notions, I once found myself guilty for sleeping more than 8 hours just because some people on TikTok said that it's enough for everyone. And if you think that is absurd, then how about that? As Horton International notes, some people avoid being concise to look productive, so they tend to over-explain something, write longer emails, or overuse jargon just to seem like they have done enough to be called productive. In fact, everyone takes something from the image of a productive person, however, this something is almost always unsuitable for you. I once sat down with a blank sheet of paper and asked myself, are these 6 hours of sleep enough for me, or how do I even benefit from these Pilates classes? Try to build this kind of dialogue with your mind, and you will spot the toxic productivity in your life. Once you have found the cult's arms, it's high time to cut them off. I want to share a phrase that will be our knife today. Taking care of yourself is productive. You know, Italians take care by themselves by the beauty of doing nothing. That is a real term I encountered in the book Eat, Pray, Love, written by Elizabeth Gilbert. I found it by asking myself every morning, what will make you happy today? And doing the small deed I came up with. Sometimes it was just about staring at the ceiling, and I did it. I first felt guilty for spending my time unproductively, but out of the blue, I turned out to be an energizer, so this taught me a little bit of math. The quantity of work done equals the quality of rest I receive. Just after the stat talk, ask yourself what you want to do this, post it on social media with the hashtag #RelaxIsProductivity. I bet that it will be hard at once, because it was hard for me, but just ask yourself, if you once made yourself work for an enormous amount of time, regardless of how tired you were, why can't you make yourself do what you want for at least an hour? Also, it is a nice idea to come up with your own knives for each of the cult's arms. For example, my inner voice of comparison always hears, okay, but the work is not planned now in my schedule. And I beat the guilt with, I appreciate that I let myself do what I want. Just keep track of your negative thoughts and come up with a special knockout for each of them. Go to the forest is a universal one, though. Just after the 3 days, if all your unique ingredients were added, you will be delivered a magic potion called energy. Yes, you will get the energy that was earlier wasted on intrusive thoughts, comparison, and self-doubt. And that is where the true productivity starts. You do not squeeze energy out of yourself. You just share it with other people. The monster is just a croaking puddle now for me. I step on it every day, but my boots are waterproof. I see someone's success every day, but I understand that I have my own plans, physical needs, and schedule. My mind is productivity cult proof, and yours can be as well.